All right, welcome, Oren Elkayam, CEO of Mobilicom, MOB. So excited to have you here, Oren. We got over 3,000 live people watching on X and on YouTube. Um, people have been following us know we've been in this drone space since the summer. RCAT, Red Cat Holdings, UMAC, all these names. We research these companies in depth. We've been interviewing the CEOs. We've been early, made a ton of money on these companies. And I came across your company, Oren, Mobilicom, and I just want to get to know you because it's a little bit hard to find out information about your company. You have a great website, I have to say, tons of information on your website, but it is like a foreign listing. So let me just start, Oren, with some corporate kind of questions. If you can tell us, you have like, is it Israel, Australia, or USA? Right? Where is your company located? When were you founded? How many employees you have? What's the history of the company, just from a corporate overview structure, if you can tell everyone about that?
First, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with the listeners and everybody on the financial community. It's always a pleasure. So thank you very much for having me. With regard to your question, yes, I understand it's a little bit confusing. Mobilicom is an Australian incorporated company that has subsidiaries in the United States and in Israel. The R&D center is in Israel. A lot of the sales and activity of the business size and marketing and other is done in the United States. And we are active across mainly US, Europe, and Israeli markets, but also serving other countries.
So you're located yourself in the U.S.? You have offices in the U.S. or where?
Yes, we are located in the United States together with additional team members that are serving our customers over here and part of the expansion of Mobilicom into the United States, both to the government as well as to the commercial markets.
Okay, so basically the corporate, the C-suite, it sounds like, is in the U.S. and the R&D is in Israel?
So some of the C-suite is over here and some of the C-suite is located in other places. We are an international company. In day one, you are building startups to be international, and this is what we've done.
Got it. And what's going on in Australia? Any operations there, or what?
Yes, we've done the Australian activity came up history-wise when we've been approached by the Australian Stock Exchange that wanted to take some tech companies and establish some tech sector in Australia. It was a great opportunity for us to get funding in order to bring products to the market and take the mature technology we had back then, but facilitate different products and grow the product activity that we've done and approach with it to the drones and focus on the drones and robotics market. So that was good on that side. Obviously, it wasn't as expected on the financial side, as Australia is not a tech economy. In general, it's not US or Israel or some other countries that you have a vibrant, big tech economy. So it was good to some aspects of the business, but wasn't as expected on the other aspects of the financial markets.
So you're listed in Australia as well?
We are not listed. We've been an Australian listed company.
Okay.
Then we registered in middle of August 2022 and done public listing front door in the NASDAQ. And then I've delisted the company from Australia. It's still incorporated in Australia. It's important for us from different subjects of exports and selling worldwide. But we are not listed in Australia anymore.
So as far as the employee breakdown, if you don't mind giving an idea, like how many employees in each country? Just want to get a flavor of.
So Mobilicom is about 40 people worldwide. We have the majority of the R&D and operation for the production or some of the production management in Israel. Sales is distributed across United States. Sales, marketing, the business people, the business development are based in United States mainly, and then we have Europe and Israel as well, as Israel is a hub of creation for drones and robots and so forth, and cybersecurity, which we are a piece of. And then we have corporate and finance people in Australia as well.
Okay, got it. And I see your reporting is, I think, every 6 months. Is that accurate? And any chance that can change every quarter?
So I'm a great believer in having a constant discussions with the investor community. As a foreign issuer, we are obligated to report on a 6 months base. I'm a believer on a reporting on a quarterly base because it gives me opportunity to discuss it with investors. I just have to convince people on the board that this is the right thing to do.
Okay.
And what I do in the meantime is I'm having regular webinars with investors. I'm having non-deal roadshow all the time. I'm accessible to investors on my, WhatsApp and SMS and phone, and I'm visiting across the United States every second month at least.
Okay. All right, great. So let me give our listeners an overview of why I invited you on here and how I found you guys. MOB, you take a look. I mean, when I did the research on this, within 5 minutes, I was blown away. I'm like, wow, this looks to me like it's the most undervalued, undiscovered drone stock on the market. A couple things really struck me, Oren, and you can expand on this or correct me if I'm wrong, but the first thing that struck me was for a small company, market cap size, you have a lot of net cash, which is rare, right? I think it was like when I found you, it was something like a 20 million market cap and 10 million in net cash, something like that, which really kind of blew me away. And not only that, but you're not burning a lot of cash either. So that's extremely rare to find. And then the other thing that really struck me is, when you look at your website, you see and do the research, not just the website, the press releases, the SEC filings, you have a lot of tier one customers. It looks like you sell to the U.S. military, Israeli military. If you look at your C-suite, looks like you have a very talented C-suite. You have a lot of products. It looks like there's a lot of proprietary technologies you guys have developed over the years. Honestly, when I'm just browsing your website and looking at that, I'm like, this doesn't look like a $20 million company. This looks like a company that's worth at least $100 million. That's the impression I got just by looking at it. So I was just blown away. How can there be like a 20 million market cap, 10 million cash? What do I have wrong?
Well, it's always an uphill battle for CEOs of a micro cap like we were, that is moving from Australia to US to get the audience. My biggest issue is I don't need people to meet with me in order to give me cash or money or funding. I just need them to know about the company, cover the company, and get the same exposure that we have on the financial market like we have on the business and tech market. And yes, you are right. And thank you for the introduction, because it's an enigma. We are on uncharted territory from the fact that we are a company that has quite a lot of technology, IP and know-how in-house, fully developed in-house. All the IP or most of the IP is granted in the United States and already given, and all of that is not translated into the value of the company. I can think of the fact that we came during 2022, a very, let's say, challenging year for the NASDAQ. From Australia, it wasn't a regular path forward in the best timing, but we are right now starting, and I'm emphasizing starting to be getting the notion or the knowledge about the company spread out, and that interviews like that are really important for me to access all the investors, at least to ask questions, learn about it, and as you said in other interviews, buy one share and follow the company.
So that was not me. That was my buddy Tim. But in any case, there's a couple nuggets of, first of all, you had this morning a press release, secure 600,000 follow-on production scale order from one of the largest US-based drone manufacturers for its Cybersecure drone data link system. Right, that press release came out this morning. I do want to ask you about that in a second, but some other interesting tidbits that I found here. I'm going to just read from different press releases and SEC filings that I found. You have here, this is evidenced by our recent design wins and pilot projects, such as our cybersecurity solution being chosen by Israel's Ministry of Defense for its small-sized drone program and the integration of our technology and offerings into the U.S. Department of Defense for soldiers' next-generation wearable tactical AI-enhanced mission kits. Again, really impressive information. It sounds like over here, talking about the order backlog as of June 30th was 700,000, and it's expected to be fulfilled in the second half of 2024. You had a note, backlog increased substantially following the end of H1. You also had here, adoption of our drone technologies are increasingly gaining traction in a high-growth market. We believe the favorable market dynamics at this time for military and civilian drone and robotics indicate Mobilicom will have a strong 2025. Our current customers include 8 tier 1 leading manufacturers of SUAVs. We currently have over 50 customers in 18 countries. Our partners and customers: Israel Aerospace Industries, Airbus, Elbit Systems, Teledyne, Tomahawk Robotics, Raphael Technologies, ST Engineering, the Israeli Ministry of Defense, and more. Again, I look at all this, I'm like, how is this just a $20 million company? If you can, if you want to, you can expand on that. But I'm interested in learning more about the R&D that's been put in this company and what is it you offer, right? In terms of, is it proprietary? Is it software? Is it hardware? Again, when I look at your website and the C-suite, it looks like you have a lot of proprietary technology. Am I accurate about that? Can you talk about your technology and how it is proprietary, if it is, and how it compares to the competition?
Definitely. So I think that what Mobilicom does in a nutshell, we provide the critical systems of software, cybersecurity, and hardware that are the cores of any drones and robot out there. So while others are providing one of those drones or robots that can do some mission, we focus on giving the critical building blocks, the IP, the most expensive, the most critical technology-wise elements to the drones or robotics manufacturer. So we are providers of for the drone community and robotics community. What differentiate Mobilicom from anybody else is while many companies focus on providing either the drone or one of the building blocks, we decided early on to be the end-to-end provider of several key systems to the drones or robotics. In a nutshell, we are very much like Bosch or Continental in the vehicle market, where you always know about Audi, Mercedes, BMW, and so forth. But if you open the hood, most of the car system, expensive car system, are coming from Bosch and Continental and such likes. And we would like to be that for the drones or robotics market, understanding that as the market will become more and more solid and mature market, we will see that they will need a strong partnership behind them in order to fulfill generation after generation and scale and move forward. And this is what we do. The second thing that separates us from everybody else is the fact that we focus on cybersecurity. Very early in the game, we understood that cybersecurity is a critical aspect, that if it was critical in IT of companies, and then the cloud, and then industry 4.0, and the area of medical, it cannot skip the drones, robots, and autonomous platform. In fact, there will be the most vulnerable elements that will suffer from that. And we decided that in every aspect that we bring to the game, it doesn't matter if it's our communication pieces or control terminal or our cloud elements and so forth, cyber will be an essential piece of that. And recently, we also released a dedicated packages of software, which are only cyber. One is against electronic warfare and cybersecurity of the data link, the communication between the drone and its operator. And second, which is the innovation that we released this year, is how do you secure, protect, and make safe the operation of the NVIDIA AI machines that serve those drones or robots. And that was the new innovation. So in a nutshell, we provide the critical systems of software, cyber, and hardware to drone manufacturers as an end-to-end one-stop shop. And the focus of the company is around the cybersecurity.
So a question about today's press release here. It says $600,000 order, tier 1 production scale. the order number seems low to me. I want to get maybe an appreciation. What is it you sell? Are these unit costs really small? Because this is a huge market. You know, the amount of drones they're building is just exploding. And you know, in other businesses I've invested in, other spaces, you know, when you're selling production orders to a tier one, you're talking about multi-million-dollar contracts. So these are a little surprisingly low to me. If you can give us a little insight into that and what it will take to see like a multi-million-dollar order, is that something that's possible?
Yes, definitely. So let's first understand the business methodology of the Mobilicom. We are in the business of designing, meaning that we have to seed our critical systems within the design of new drones or existing drones by different vendors. It's either one of the hardware solutions, which are the telecommunication or the communication links to serve single drones or fleet of drones or swarms of drones, or the ground controllers, or the elements that protect them, secure them, and like the cyber and the electronic warfare suit and so forth. And in such case, we are able to succeed when those players are scaling in the market, because we are investing heavily with them, seeding our solution for months. Sometimes it can take 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, until we are, from the moment that we are picked up until they have a mature platform that they can start selling and promoting in the market. In the defense market, they also have to win different programs and be seeded into different programs like SRR that Red Cat enjoyed and others.
That was my next question, but go ahead.
Yes. I will touch into that. And then as they are scaling, we are scaling with them. So our business model depends on the success of the different OEM manufacturers we are embedded with. So the fact that we moved, so this tier one American player, which is a giant company, one of the 3 biggest in the small size drones or robotics space, they're working with us for the last, I think, 3 years. They chose us over 4 competitors after thorough testing in the field. And Mobilicom solution for their specific drones, small size drones, is the communication device, the Skywarper element, which is a secure cognitive radio between the drone operator and the drone itself, and sometimes multiple drones if needed. And over there, so we have at least 2 or 3 elements in each system they are selling. And in such deals, they have moved, after they certified the solution with the defense, the DoD of United States, they have moved in 2023, late 2023, to initial production to supply and seed the market. So we had a sequence of orders that didn't come for additional R&D and testing and validation, immediately to seed the market. So we had one in Q3 2023, and Q4 they double it. In Q1 they had a bigger one, in Q2 a bigger one, and this is the last one that we got this end of this year, last year, beginning of this year. That is a sequence that shows the growth of the initial production of this company, and that signal to the market that there is ongoing continuous seeding and scaling. And to the matter of fact, they are already on the front or the short list of multiple programs of record. You know, you probably heard the term program of record from Red Cat, from Alan, or from Jeff, or from others, which is the holy grail of this industry, because it guarantees many years of budget allocated to your program. So this partner of ours is already shortlisted for numerous programs, and we just need them to win one. If they will do 2, we are very successful. They are one of the leaders in this market and a giant company in the United States. The chances that they will win.
So wait, back up there. Sorry to interrupt you. You said we just need them to do 1. What does that mean? What I want to understand the potential in 2025, because to me this is the year of the drones, right? We're going to see revenue explode at Red Cat. In the year 2025 for you, this year, is there the potential for you to have hockey stick growth and win, very large contract? And can you fulfill that? What's your, in terms of what you can fulfill and scale by? Just touch on that a little bit. I want to get an idea for the potential for your company if we get some bigger contracts.
Great. So some of the programs that they're embedded in are programs of SOCOM, Special Command Forces, or the Marines, which are programs that are like OPFL, known program, you can follow that, or programs of the GOPS of United States, and there are several others. Those are the numbers behind that are known. It's in the thousands of systems to begin with, and you can multiply thousands of systems and extend. Just to give you some, small indication. So 1,000 system, which is a very low number, will provide us between $3 to $5 million, and 5,000 system will give us $15 to $20 million just from this initial single solution inside. We believe that as an end-to-end provider, we can cross-sell our cyber and software elements, and by that double or triple the elements inside, and have higher revenue from each one of the customers.
So is this
the potential immediately from those customers? From
this
okay. One customer, actually.
One customer, 5,000 systems. You said would be 15 to 20 million. Is that what I heard?
Of the Skyhopper elements.
Okay, and that's something that you're bidding on. What's the process? Where are you in that, and what's the timeline of when that might happen for you?
So for that, this customer and others that we have from the tier one blue chip companies that are our customers, we don't control the pace and timing. Especially when they are selling to governments in Europe, in Israel, in US. What we can say is that what are the chances that they will win, and you can see the names behind our company, and believe that the chances for them to win 1, 2, 3 of those programs worldwide are definitely high.
And is that this year? Is that the timeline for that in 2025? Or?
I don't want to commit on timing of the government, but I believe that in 2025 they should get a program. This is my belief. They should get.
But that's one of your customers, right? Do you have any other possibilities besides that one?
Yeah, so it will take the US tier one giant company we're working with. We believe that, they believe that in this year they will get programs that will scale their production. In fact, they have, until recently, we shipped all the elements to their R&D centers that did the initial quantities to seed and deploy that into the US DoD and government. And right now we are shipping to the production side they've built only to fulfill the next ramp up needs. So if someone like a giant company in the New York Stock Exchange is building facility to scale up their production in the United States, that speaks volume about their intention of winning that. But in addition, there is other programs that we are seeded in. There is the RAID program, RAID, which is the Future Backpack Soldier NVIDIA-based communication and AI device, which were chosen as part of other vendors to be part of. And if that will, it's in testing, if that will move to initial production or scalability, that means enormous potential. It's the backpack of every platoon or every soldier group of soldiers. So you understand the volumes of it. So we have multiple alleys where we have government or OEM, large ones, that can scale their production. And the sequence that you see just give you the indication that it's not one of thing, that they continue in production, scaling their production. Like anything, if you look on a Ford car or anything else, there is sampling, and then there is initial production lots, which and then accelerate from quarter to quarter to quarter, and then scale to mass production. We are
and you get one of these big orders. Can you fulfill that now? You have the facilities and the employees, or would you need to expand or debt? What's the plan to fulfill on a big order?
Thank you for the question. It's important to understand the production of Mobilicom. Mobilicom is mainly on the tech side, the IP, the design, and making the technology which we own. The production, we are using third-party contractors that we have long-term relationship with, that knows our solutions. We give them the drawing and the information how to design our hardware pieces. They are doing it for us. We have multiple of those. We are able to produce and done it in the past in United States, Israel, and Philippines. We chose specifically areas that you can scale production, like Philippines, which are NDAA approved. Being an ally of United States is very important for us. We didn't go to China like many others, and that give us the ability to scale production and maintain gross margin, because expectations are that customers As you move to the thousands and thousands of systems, will require or need a cost reduction, but we are able to compensate on that by able to manufacture, and we've done it already in the Philippines and such like. So this is the production scalability. We can do in United States if someone would like 100% US-based production, which will be more expensive, obviously. But those are the issues.
Would you need to raise capital to fulfill a big order?
I don't believe that big order is needed for that. There is different vehicles that we are usually getting. The bill of material of let's go backward. Most of our products are hardware and software based, and some of our products are the innovative ones. The new ones that we released recently are software solely or cybersecurity. There is no production over there. You understand that there it's easier for us to fulfill it, and the SaaS model is kicking in. But on the hardware pieces, which is heavily embedded by software, so the hardware part is about 20% of the entire thing. So it's not a cost-effective element. And then when we pour inside our wisdom and IP and the software inside, that becomes the product. So it's heavily seated with software. So therefore, the need for capital is not high because the portion of the hardware is still small in comparison to the entire product. And therefore, we don't expect that scaling production will require us we don't need to invest in any production site, and we don't have to have a hungry capital for that. You can see that from last year, from 2023 to 2024, we jumped in the numbers, and our production investment didn't move a dime. The same team is doing it. We didn't move one person more in order to do it.
Nice. That's good to know. I have two more questions for you. And then if you have time, if you can save maybe a couple extra minutes, I want to bring my colleague on, the Godfather, his backstage. He has a couple questions for you quickly. But okay, RCAT, Red Cat Holdings, right? Every company this Red Cat has touched, their stock has turned to gold, right? They have public press releases with partnerships with OPTT, UMAC, Paladine, all of their stocks exploded. It seems like everyone's looking at RCAT as that 500-pound gorilla in the small drone space now. And, they have this SRR win, which looks pretty huge. Is there any opportunity for you to win any business when they fulfill this SRR contract? Does Red Cat need to rely on you for any of those components to deliver that contract?
Right now, Red Cat doesn't need Mobilicom to fulfill the hardware delivery of their drones. And we are able to work with any one of the drone manufacturers, Red Cat, Anduril, Teledyne, FLIR, AeroVironment, and such like, and all the other big names around the world. What I can say is pay attention to Mobilicom's cybersecurity suite of solutions, which is the biggest innovation that we released this year, which is not matchable by anyone else in this industry. And then understand that the IP and technology and solution we have in hand, we started with the communication, we have ground control stations, we have mesh for a swarm and fleets of drones, which is the future, and cybersecurity, which is the only way to protect the platform against all the malicious and vulnerabilities out there that you see by the Russian, Iranians, and others. We are the sole solution right now in the market that can have active protection on small-sized drones. There is no matchable solution which is based on the standard in the United States that is already in the market. Pay attention to this innovation, because I believe that very much like that they will need Paladine to be on the front of their drones in the future. They're not mandatory to have Paladine, but they could enjoy Paladine capabilities on the AI. Mobilicom cybersecurity is critical to many of those players. And this is where I see one of the growth of Mobilicom and the hidden valuation that no one sees in Mobilicom. And that's the important thing, because we can fulfill our elements in any one of the drone manufacturers, Red Cat and others. We can be another source for their elements inside, but more than anything else, we are leaders in the cybersecurity. There is no player that issues such a solution to the market yet.
So is there like a pipeline, or can you give us some color? Are you speaking to folks? What's the timeline on maybe winning some of these cybersecurity contracts?
So the cybersecurity solution, the OS3, the operation system security, safety, and compliance, was something that we revealed to the market only in the summer this year. We have launched that. We are bringing it into different integration and partnership and business in around the world. I think that very soon you will see different announcements on things that we've done and penetrations. I think that if in 2025 we can solidify and embed that across multiple players, that will be a big win for Mobilicom, because it's like we are the first company getting to Mars and putting our flags across different places. And this is what we're trying to do. And that will be one of the biggest moves Mobilicom can do for the drone space, making it safe and solving the problems that we can see right now in Ukraine, in Israel, and other places, and even to the industrial and commercial market. Bear in mind, you're going to have, we hosted some cybersecurity conference and been part of AVUSI, the industry leaders of drones or robotics worldwide, in another conference. And there was an energy company back then, one of the biggest in the United States, that said, hey, we are using heavily drones or robotics, but from the next year, we are not going to use drones that don't have cybersecurity protection like we have on other elements of our energy facilities, because that's dangerous and vulnerable to our business. And I've heard Siemens saying same things on different robotics they are using. And you understand that they cannot scale into commercial and businesses if they don't have the proper protection. Show me one company with protection. Show me one solution that have active, ongoing cybersecurity monitoring, detection, and prevention on their drones or robots.
All right. Man, I could go on for another hour, honestly, because I want to get a deeper idea of what you have coming, what the opportunities are this year. Well, maybe I have to do that a second time, but let me bring on my colleague, the Godfather, just for a couple quick questions. I know your time is limited.
I'm
Godfather,
here. I have time.
Do you have time? Okay, great. So go ahead. Godfather is an analyst in our Discord.
Hi, good morning, Oren. Thank you so much for being on. My question is with respect to the, I'm trying to model your company going forward, at least the next couple of years. Your most recent quarter was, or 6-month period was 1.8 million in revenue, which was a nice, 230% gain over the previous year, which, we're talking some fairly small numbers here. I guess what I'm trying to get a handle on is, in light of your comments with respect to the cybersecurity versus the data link hardware sales and so on, what sort of breakdown do you see between hardware and software in like 2025 and or in 2026, and what sort of run rate revenues would you think would be reasonable for the market to start thinking about for Mobilicom for 2025 and 2026?
Okay, so the majority of our sales right now are selling the hardware systems that we have, either the data link, the Scalper family of communication, or the networking that enables swarm and fleet, which is the next step of drones and robotics operation and revolution, and the ground control stations that enable the control of the mission by the operator. Those are the revenue generator today for Mobilicom. Those are elements that we seeded across the entire funnel of our customers, the tier 1, tier 2, in US, Europe, and Israel in the last 2-3 years. And that will sustain the growth of the company, the organic growth for 2025 and 2026. But the innovation, because we are sitting on a specific situation where we have deep knowledge and understanding of the needs of our customers and customers of customers, the government or the corporates behind that, we understood that cyber or electronic warfare protection suits, which are software solutions, and cloud are the next waves of things that we have to release. And those are pure SaaS model or software sales solutions. And those, what our intention is in 2025, I will define 2025 as a successful year, not just by the growth of production and winning of customers that we have, either new customers or the customers that we are having right now scaling in their production, which is my expectation, but also because we'll be able to seed the cybersecurity and software elements of innovation in order to cover and get market share before any competitor will enter this field. We have a unique position with groundbreaking technology ahead of everybody else in a market that we already have channels and reputation in, and we just have to seed it. If that will happen and we will have those partnership and sitting in 2025, that will be an enormous achievement for Mobilicom. I have good reasons to believe that it's achievable in 2025. I believe that we can do it sooner than later. And that will be showing significant growth into 2026, 2027. It will transition the company to be more heavily dependent on software and cyber, which will change dramatically the company position in the marketplace.
So just to elaborate on that further, when do you expect to be able to talk to the market about a significant design win for your cybersecurity OS?
I believe that we should ink and close the first things within the first half of 2025. This is what we are aiming for.
So I've seen statistics suggesting that.
Please.
Yeah, I've seen statistics suggesting that cybersecurity OS and data, all these communications elements all together, it's like an $8.5 billion TAM. So there's going to be some very large companies coming into play in this market. I presume, just in the same way you are doing with your hardware, partnering with the Elbits of the world and other tier one defense contractors, will it be a similar strategy in terms of your software, playing alongside or integrating with Palantir solutions and other software suppliers to these markets?
So I think with the OS3, the Operation Security, Safety, and Compliance CyberPack solution, we have different alleys and different go-to-market approaches. One of them is working with the NVIDIA AI partners and come from this ecosystem, because we are actually protecting and enabling the safe operations of the AI machines that are the heart of soul of any future autonomous or drone solution. So that will be one alley going forward. I think that partnering with companies which are providing the AI software, and there is multiple of those innovative companies in the defense and the commercial side, is another solution. And obviously, the third path is working with OEMs, because we are coming to the OEMs and say, hey, we give you two options. We are embedding our software cybersecurity on board your drone or robot. Okay, we can do that for free of charge. And then as you are selling it, you are enjoying portion of these sales. So you have yourself software or SaaS model revenue. And if the customer opt in and out and says we don't want it, you are reducing dramatically the probability of suit against cyber solution that will come to your drone. So who will say no? It's a win-win from both sides for those companies. And this is what we are trying to achieve. And on the industry side, we are bringing the much needed protection layer that doesn't exist today for small drones or robots to defend it against different hacking, malicious attacks, vulnerabilities, even operational vulnerabilities that happen regardless of malicious attacks. That doesn't exist today. It exists in different industries. It doesn't exist in the drones or robotics. So we have a working solution with innovation backed by big partners, which is already ready. We demonstrated that, and we are already enabling that to the market. And therefore, we see that as the biggest innovation that we can bring to this market as of today, in addition to all the assets we already have. And therefore, going backwards to your question, Ben, is people don't understand Mobilicom? No, people don't understand Mobilicom. Just the cybersecurity of the drones or robotics, that piece that we have going forward as a player that is meeting the standardization in the United States for that and being part of the standard activity and have a solution first to the market is mind-blowing as a solution. Is that valued in the company? Is that somewhere that you can see that we have a matching valuation like others, like Paladin AI or others that have innovative technology?
Got it. Sounds good. Godfather, you got anything else?
I know that you've got some tech partners. You called out one of your Silicon Valley partners. Was that in the controller?
Yes, we have understood that we have to be producing more and more US-based and US solutions. We always been non-Chinese production company that did the production in United States, Israel, or other places using systems and components which are safe, and we are monitoring that closely. And this time it was a cooperation with an American tablet and computer manufacturer, which is doing it here in the Silicon Valley, just next to me. And we partner in order to bring the next generations of ground control stations, which are NDA approved, compliant, which is meeting the requirements of the US government and US allies, which is not needed. We are bringing this new capability, NDA approved, at a very affordable price point, which we believe is dramatic change to the market. If competitor solutions are bringing solutions in between $5,000 to $10,000, we are bringing the same thing under $4,000, and that's a big game changer to enable scalability. We're all about scalability. The market that we are seeing of small drones will scale if you have solid, good solutions made in US or US allies countries at affordable pricing that will enable scalability by the government and the commercial market.
Last question for me on the capital structure. You guys last reported 9.7 million in cash. You reported on the 24th of December that through some warrants that were in the money, you added another 1.2 million to the treasury. I'm wondering if there's an update since that in terms of in the money warrant conversions. And you know, in the last quarter when you guys reported, you were pretty close to operating cash flow break even. A SaaS model going forward, one would expect the operating margin there would put you pretty close to you know, a cash flow positive scenario. So with all this kind of cash, where's the company's focus in terms of organic growth, and what are your opportunities to augment that through inorganic or acquisition type opportunities? And if you did such an acquisition, you know, what sort of bolt-on or you know, enhancement technology would you look for?
So with regard to the cap table that you've mentioned, the numbers that you see right now on Yahoo Finance and others are not up to date. We have had some conversions of warrants, and those conversions of warrants, which are 1.55, increase the cash position of the company. And there is still warrants out there that were not fulfilled because the owners, the investors, are feeling very strong about the company, which is a very good sign from our perspective. But this is another opportunity to meet more money and to clean the cap table. So we have around 7.2 million ADS shares in the market, and then we have 1.3 roughly warrants in 1.5, and there are the traded warrants on the market. Other than that, the company has no convertibles, no debt, no working capital, not any loans whatsoever. So we are a very, very clean company. If you take the market cap of the company, subtract the cash position that we have, and then divide it by the revenue that we are making or the backlog that we already have for this year, you will be amazed that then the multiplier that we have is very ridiculous, and it doesn't take any of the future valuation of the company based on the cyber and the assets that we have, which we just discussed. So this is the cash position and how it's translated to the multipliers of the company. And if you compare it to UMAC, I mean, Usual Machines or Paladin AI or others, you will see that Mobilicom is ridiculously priced right now in the market, and we can go over the numbers and identify that. With regard to cash position, I said a year ago that with the cash that we had from the IPO, we are able to sustain at least 2 years in order to fulfill our strategy and have organic growth and get to the scalability of our business. I'm saying today that we still have more than 2 years to go on the current cash burn rate, which means that we are very, very sensitive to the expenses, and we are operating very carefully. and that's a great, again, great note for the investors to know that we are keeping the cash and monitoring that, and we don't need cash right now for our current strategy and fulfillment. And if we believe that some of our customers may get the orders or scalability this year, so it could be that we will not have to approach the market again, because around $10 to $12 million on the current company structure, we can be cash flow positive. And $10 to $12 million is few thousands of systems on our current solution, on a gross margin which is above 50, between 50 to 60 on the hardware pieces. Just imagine what will happen as the software and cyber will kick in, which is, let's say, 90% gross margin. And then you understand the potential of the growth of the company, not just as the market position, but also on the cash flow of the company and cash flow positive situation. Did I answer most of your question?
I guess the last question, a clarification on that is the timeline. How long do you think it'll take to get to that sort of $10 to $12 million run rate at 60% gross margins that you mentioned before we, see really the kick in of the SaaS model?
So it's all entirely depend on the wins of our customers. I mean, the tier 1 and second tier players. There is a good chance, I believe, that this year they will get good news. And if they are getting good news, we are getting good news with them. We hope that will happen. I cannot predict timing on government business. It can be pushed by a quarter easily, but the chances of that happening this year, I believe, are good, very good. But I'm dependent on their wins. It's like Intel or NVIDIA inside elements of other players, and as they're succeeding, we are growing with them with no additional investment on our side. So I believe that this year should be shifting year for the company from the aspects of wins by our partners in the marketplace. And this is, as you said, in addition to fulfillment that we can do with our cybersecurity that will signal the market that this company is going for way beyond what we see today with the cybersecurity of the AI machines that we have as innovation.
Okay. Godfather, you good to go? Hello?
I could go on, but I'll leave it there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your answers.
I could go on too. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Give Godfather a follow, guys, on Twitter, on X at smantel, SMANTEL, who's also in our Discord. Oren, one last question from me, and then a question from the audience here, and then we'll let you go. So thank you so much for staying a little extra. When your 6-month period just ended, right? December 31st, is that right? And then when are you going to report? When?
So the reporting, I think, is due by March. And then this is the obligation, but we will always work towards shorting that time and reporting earlier.
Okay, cool. And then a question from the audience, and then we'll close it up after this. This is a very interesting question. I thought I'd bring it to your attention. From Craig, it says, please describe a worst case scenario that your customers would face without your technology.
I think that we are a critical system within the drones and robots that they are delivering. Many of those customers targeting the commercial or the defense market have to certify the platform either by FAA or by other, government agencies in the DoD. Once it's certified with Mobilicom solution inside, changing that will require them to do a very extensive engineering effort that will delay their time to market and do the entire certification all over again. So hiccups on that will cause a big disruption to their business. And once we are sitting inside, it gives us opportunity to scale with them. So if their customers are not fulfilling that with us, it means that they have to do heavy investment on their side to change it. Yes, most of those customers will say that they are agnostic and can work with multiple players. But the fact is that with those critical elements that we are providing, getting to the results and performance requires very in-depth integration and testing and validation and maturity. So Without our solution, it's a big delay, at least a big delay in their business, if not more than that.
All right, sounds good, Oren. Thank you so much for joining us. Godfather, if you can hang on in the back, hang on for a few minutes right after we close this out. I want to have a little chat publicly about what we thought about that interview. Thank you so much, Oren.
Thank you very much.
Yep, bye-bye.